question, statement 1 and statement 6 are fixed. Statement 1 says amount of published information available varies widely by industry, right? And statement 6 says if a researcher starts searching for data with this reality in mind, the uselessness of broad data will be better recognized and the tendency to give up will be avoided. So it says here if a researcher starts searching for data with this reality in mind, that means basically we must be able to find the reality that is there in mind. So statement 1 says the amount of published information available varies widely by industry, right? And then this variation, so basically we must ask what could be the next statement in sequence, right? It says A says unfortunately for the researcher many industries do not meet these criteria. Where are these criteria? So we cannot have A after 1. After 1 we cannot have A. So 1 is basically the beginning of the paragraph. Generally the problem the researcher will face in using published data. So what is this published data? Amount of published information available varies widely by industry. Generally the problem the researcher will face in using published data for analyzing an economically meaningful industry is that they are too broad or too arranged. So this broadness concept has been brought in here. So we can say that this B might be related with statement 6. But is it related with statement 1? May or may not, we don't know. We cannot uh, you know write it off. D says larger the industry, the older it is. This it could refer to something. And the slower the rate of technological change, better is the available published information. So can't we say that variation is being spoken here, larger, older? So it says amount of published information available varies widely by industry. Larger the industry, the older is the information. So larger the industry, older is the information. Slower the rate of technological change, the better is the available information. So can we say that 1 and D are closely connected? One speaks of some kind of variation, and that variation has been further explained by statement D. It says larger the industry, the older is basically the published information, and the slower the rate of technological change, better is the available published information. Unfortunately for the researcher, many industries do not meet these criteria. Which criteria? This criteria. Larger the industry, the older the available information, criteria 1, and the slower the technological change, the better is the available information. This is the criteria 2. So, amount of published information available varies widely by industry. Larger this, the older it is, the slower the rate, the better it is. Unfortunately for the researcher, many industries do not meet these criteria. And so what do we have? We have 1D and we have A. However, even if they don't meet these criteria, it is always possible to gain some important information about industry from published sources. And then so basically you have DAC, and because it speaks of broad data, too broad or too arranged. If a researcher starts searching for data with this reality in mind, the uselessness of broad data, right? So basically if he has this reality in mind, the uses of broad data will basically go away. So you have DACB and then you have 6 in the end. This is the link. So this is it says varies, variation is mentioned in D. Then it says unfortunately many of these don't meet the criteria. Generally, then it says however it is always possible to gain some important information about industry from published sources, and these sources should be aggressively pursued. And once you have pursued these sources, you will find that uh, that generally the problem the researcher will face in using published data for analyzing an economic limit is that they are too broad or too arranged. So we have 1 BA CV 6. This is the right sequence.